you got to be able to have different ways, or better yet, different tools in your toolbox as an NFL wide receiver. You can't be a one-trick pony. What's going on? It's Keyshawn, and we got another episode of All Facts, No Breaks podcast right here for you on Fox. Before we get going, I want to remind you to follow All Facts Pod, all social media, and wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We need to hit 100,000. That's one big 100K subscribers before we reach the Super Bowl. It would be a blessing. So, how you doing this morning, young man?
Good. Just trying to figure out how I'm going to get to Tucson this weekend. We got Colorado, Arizona this week. So I'm going out there for the homecoming game. That should be exciting.
It's sold out. I actually talked to one of the coaches yesterday. He thought I was going to come. I was going to go, only though if they didn't get boat raced by BYU and then Colorado would have won their game against Kansas State, I was going to actually
I still think it'll be a good game, though.
I know, but I don't want to.
Colorado could still win the Big 12.
I know. I just didn't. Two lost teams. I didn't want to see them.
I feel.
I'd rather watch it on TV.
You'd rather watch the Dodgers or something? Well, they shut out the Mets 8-0 yesterday. They play today. They take the lead 2-1. Do you think they'll be able to take the whole series?
Yeah. They got later on the day on FS1, they will play the Mets for the second straight game out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Last night was interesting because we got out early. We got out fast, and then Ohtani with the towering home run was just crazy.
Right?
And Max Muncy hit one right, like literally
just for insurance
in the same area. It was wild to see. It's so wild to see that Ohtani can't hit to save his life when nobody's on base. As soon as somebody gets on base, he goes nuts. I think he's like 0 for 20 or 0 for 19 when he's leading off with nobody on base in the playoffs.
Maybe he needs that pressure to get the RBIs or something.
I have no idea, but you think dude is crazy. And then Kiki Hernandez is going nuts. I mean, they got it cooking. Yamamoto, I believe, is on the mound for us today. And so that'll be good because he had a shaky start against the Padres a little bit. He was kind of rocky a little bit against the Padres. So hopefully he bounces back strong and our bats keep going.
Do you think you'll play, if say you do win, do you think you'll play the the Guardians? Or no, who was it?
The Guardians.
Yeah, the Guardians or the Yankees.
It'll be the Yankees. The Yankees are up 2-0. It's pretty much a wrap now, no?
Baseball is weird, though. I've seen a lot of...
pretty much a wrap. They the better team, just like the Dodgers are the best team out of all the teams that's left. There's no way that the Mets are going to... No, just no way. I understand they got some players and all those things, but I don't see what the Mets are going to be able to... They might win one at home and then come back here 3-2, and then the Dodgers close them out.
Okay, well, let's talk Bronny. We haven't talked about him for a while. He struggled in the first 3 preseason games.
Really?
He averaged less than a point on 9% shooting, and out of the 494 players in the preseason, he was ranked dead last. Do you think the Bronny James experiment will be over soon, or do you think he'll be sent down to the G League, something like that? How do you feel about the situation?
Man, Bronny definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching on League Pass today. Shit, lightweight.
Yeah,
hilarious.
he tweeted that in March.
Yeah, why are we bringing that back, though? I mean, we shouldn't even be bringing this back. Look, first of all, Bronny James is still a kid, man. He's got to learn how to play professional basketball. There's no rush for him at all. He's going to struggle. I mean, that's just the reality of it. He's got to learn how to play. All rookies struggle. Now,
not that bad, though.
No, all rookies struggle. I mean, he is a popular pick to pick on.
Right.
Because his name is Bronny James and how he's entered the league. And a lot of people feel like it was just basically his dad, the only reason why he's on the Lakers. And so what?
Right.
Okay, yeah, that may be true. And he'll get excuse me, he'll get his game underneath his belt in a short period of time. Now he's not gonna be a star. That's not what he's
might.
there for.
No, I mean,
He's not gonna be a star. He's just not. He's gonna be a good, solid NBA basketball player. I mean, it's just the reality of it. I mean, you saw the picture where the 3 Golden State Warriors are checking into the game. Now everybody on social media want to poke fun at that because Bronny's checking in along with Draymond Green and a couple other guys, and then people look at that and they're like, "Oh man, he looks spooked." I mean, like the internet is. Man, the internet full of shit.
Same thing with the Stephon Diggs. You saw that picture.
Oh man, this is good. He's standing there. Okay, they checking in. He's standing there.
That is hilarious.
And then they writing stuff like, "Dad, how good was Bronny James?" Like, come on, man. Like, come on, y'all need to stop. People of the world need to just hate.
Well, you think the storyline on LeBron is a distraction for the Lakers?
No. The Lakers gonna be what the Lakers gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
They've been the same team for the last several years. I don't think add Bronny James to the mix is all of a sudden going to change the outcome of what the Lakers are. I mean, they got to figure out how to internally, the top 5 guys on the floor, how to play together, how to knock down shots, how to defend, how not to be lackadaisical in certain situations. That's what they got to figure out.
Okay, so on to NFL. Jerry Jones, we talked about this on Tuesday. He got a little defensive during a radio appearance when the host asked about the lack of roster moves in the offseason. Let's take a listen.
This is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
Get
a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
What do you think about that, threatening their jobs and, kind of taking...
He the boss.
That's, yeah.
I mean, he the boss. He letting them know.
That's crazy.
I'll fuck y'all up right now. Y'all can come to work tomorrow and y'all key cards won't work.
I mean, he can do it, but like...
Yeah, he letting them know. He letting them know. Don't try to get me up here and embarrass me because I'll have somebody else.
The questions have to be asked.
Huh?
Questions have to be asked, right?
That's
his
have
job.
To be asked, but in the end, that's his radio show that he appears on, and they know the questions beforehand. And if you try to get slick with Jerry, that's what you're going to get.
You might as well just not show up then.
You're going to get pushback.
Why does he just not go to the show?
No, he going to go to the show. I ain't mad at him, though. Flex your muscles. Yeah, let him know. Say, man, you keep trying to put me out there like that, your ass going to be fired. I like it.
I mean, I have no problems with Jerry Jones. I remember we went to, or you don't remember probably, but I went to his grandson's birthday party when he had the whole stadium. It was probably the dopest party I've ever been to as a kid. But I think that's funny. I don't know. But Devonte Adams is now a Jet, which is crazy. Do you think the Jets will make the playoffs now? They're 2-4.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. They certainly are in the mix.
New York Packers.
If they win last week, if they win, they right there in first place if they beat the Bills. But they didn't. But I think they're a game and a half out. Adding Devonte Adams to the mix certainly is going to help Garrett Wilson and Lazard, Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall. It's going to help the whole offense. He can score. They haven't been able to score points, but they need to learn how to stop people on the interior side of the ball from a defensive standpoint. Stop having people run the ball down their throat.
That's what I was going to ask. What do you think it's going to mean for Garrett Wilson? Because he's like the most thrown receiver in the league. Do you think he's still going to be the number 1 receiver and then Devontae will be number 2? Or
no. What you do is you move him inside, put Devontae on the outside of him. Now you got both of those guys on the same side. You put pressure on the defense by doing that, but you can move Garrett Wilson around.
Kind of like the Eagles. Like the Eagles with Devontae Smith.
Like the Eagles.
Okay.
And he doesn't have to carry the load. I'd like to see him get his 9-yard average up, but, maybe Devonte Adams will help him do that.
Okay, so Russell Wilson, I don't know if he was named as the starter for the Steelers,
no,
but
he's just
getting reps.
Conversation.
He's getting reps with the
Everybody
ones.
gets reps with the ones. I wish people stop looking at, he's getting reps with the ones. Everybody gets reps with the ones. Even the dude that's the third team when I was gets reps.
I would get reps with the ones.
Everybody gets reps with the ones. That's just the reality of it. But because it's a story and the Steelers quarterback situation, everybody wants to kind of, make it a controversy when right now it's not. And Mike Tomlin hadn't helped the situation by not naming a starter, which I'm fine with that because all he's doing, he's playing a little gamesmanship with the New York Jets that they face Sunday night. So if the Jets don't know who the starting quarterback is, they got to prepare for not only Russell Wilson, but they also got to prepare for Justin Fields.
I don't see a problem in those stats.
No, Justin Fields is fine.
But he's saying he doesn't think he's played good enough.
Well, he's just saying he's got to play better. He wants to play better. That's all he's saying. He's not saying – he's just saying if I would have thrown for 2,500 yards and 20 touchdowns, it wouldn't even be a conversation.
Right.
That's all he's saying.
Do you think he will be the starter, though?
Yeah.
Moving forward?
They 4-2.
Yeah, I agree.
He's balling. What the hell?
Yeah.
They just came out to Las Vegas and worked the Raiders. Worked the Raiders to the point where they moved on from Devonte Adams, even though they were already going to move on from him. But there was no hope for the Raiders in that game. And he went and balled. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 200 yards of total offense, didn't turn the football over. What more you want?
Yeah, true. Well, speaking of another receiver and also on the Steelers, George Pickens recently went on the facility and called Amon-Ra a quote-unquote slot merchant. Let's take a listen to that.
What do we need to have for you so the world can see that you're a top 5 receiver? What has to happen?
I'll probably say schematically. Schematically is the biggest is the biggest thing, in football. That's how you get Amon-Ra, St. Brown's, slot merchants. That's schematically getting fed the ball. So when it comes to that, I ain't playing QB, O-line, and defense all at once. So schematic, you know what I mean? So schematically, that's probably the biggest thing in that way for me to really show the world a bigger platform of my game style.
So what's your take on that? And give an example of like a slot merchant in the NFL right now.
I don't even know what that means. That's y'all. That's the young talk. A slot merchant. What does that mean?
I mean, I guess that's someone in the slot that just eats on linebackers and
okay. Well, I mean,
not going on the outside.
If
going
you was
against the number
good,
1 corner.
If you was good enough, you can play both spots. You can play outside.
Right.
On third down, they can move you inside.
Devonte plays everywhere.
You play everywhere.
Yeah.
I played everywhere. I played on the left side, right side, inside. Played outside. I played in the backfield. I played the tight end position when they needed help in certain situations.
But I guess you don't see Amon-Ra outside, I guess, too much. So that's why he's calling him a slot merchant.
The systems dictate what type of statistical numbers you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's just the way they throw the football. There's no shade to St. Brown. It ain't his fault. That's just what they like him inside. They like him inside. It got him $30 million plus per year. So in the end, George Pickens needs to just worry about himself and figure out how to get open when he's out there on the island by himself. Alpha dogs on the island. Okay, that's the way we always look at it. When you own them numbers and you out there by yourself, that's you take advantage of that. When you inside, if they put in the third corner on me, or linebackers, defensive ends dropping out of safeties, you should eat. But there's nothing wrong with guys that play in the slot predominantly a majority of the time. I've never really.
So you don't even know what a slot merchant is. You're just like.
Well, I mean, I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's saying give him those same opportunities and he do the same thing and put up the numbers.
Exactly.
That's not necessarily true.
We haven't been able to see it, so we don't know.
The slot is hard to play in. People don't understand how hard it is to get in the slot. You gotta, it's a lot of traffic in there. It's a lot of big bodies moving around.
Yeah, you're getting touched every
single time.
You're
getting touched literally every single time. If you could play in both like a Devonte Adams, like I did, when I could move around and go anywhere, that's a mismatch for the defense. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see that. Right. I'm never coming off the field. On third down, I'm just moving inside. If it's 3rd and 7 and we want to throw a slant, I can go outside. If it's 3rd and 4 and we want to run a stick route, we'll move me inside in the slot. I'll run a little 5-yard stick route. If we want me to hook up on a spacing over the ball, I'm a spacing over the ball. I mean, that's just, you got to be able to have different ways, or better yet, different tools in your toolbox as an NFL wide receiver. You can't be a one-trick pony.
Right. But he also called himself a top 5 receiver. Do you agree with that? And if not, who are your top 5 right now?
If he wants to be a top 5 receiver, I can't. Man, these type of conversations for me, I can't get caught up in if he's a top 5, right, Keyshawn?
Right.
He feels he is. He feels if they was throwing him the ball, he would be a top 5 receiver in the league. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If he goes on to another team at some point in time, maybe he gets those opportunities statistically. But when you talk about top 5 dudes, I mean, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Cheetah, although Cheetah's having a down year.
His quarterback situation doesn't help.
Yeah, his quarterback situation doesn't help. I mean, Devonte Adams. I mean, we could pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? I could put T. Higgins in the top 5 because I fuck with T. Higgins. I like him. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Could you put Pickens in your top 5 though?
No, I could put Pickens in my top 5.
Top 10?
I got to see the other 5, but no, I couldn't put him in my. But it doesn't mean he can't wind up there at some point in time.
No, I hear you.
What has he displayed statistically in that offense that would give you the belief that he's a top 5 receiver? It's all based on statistics.
Yeah, all the number 1 receivers can be
think
top
about
5 receivers.
Ayuk doesn't have big numbers, but Ayuk's getting paid like a top dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
depends on the situation.
Yeah, depends on A.J. Brown. It all depends on the situation.
So game previews for this week, we got Lions versus the Vikings. The Vikings are favored 2.5, and they're coming off a bye week. How do you think that's going to come out?
Man, I'm actually taking the Lions in this game, to be honest with you. I think the Lions, just physicality is something about the way they run the ball, play action, pass it with Jared Goff. It's just something about they seem like a team destined to erase the mistakes that they made last year when they knew that they had an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl and beat San Francisco, and they let it get away from them.
It's a really big game. NFC North is tough.
No, NFC North is big. It's tough. You got Sam Darnold playing like an MVP. It's gonna be one of the better games that day.
Okay, then we got the Chiefs and the 49ers, a Super Bowl rerun. The 49ers are favored for some reason. I guess, I don't know.
They're at home. So they get a point and a half for being at home.
I guess.
Instead of 3, so it's essentially even. It's an even game.
Well, Andy Reid's 21-4 in games following a bye. So how do you think that's going to go out?
Well, he's 8-3. He's 18-1. If I'm saying it correctly, I think he's 18-1 as an Eagle, and then he's something like 8-3 as a Chief after the bye. Mm-hmm. The 49ers are a team that over the last 4 years, or 4 shots of Kansas City, 2 in the Super Bowl, 2 in the regular season, have lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 of the last 4 games, 7 turnovers. So number 1, they got to stop the turnovers. They can't give the football to the other team. If they stop those turnovers, they could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But in order for them to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, 125 on Fox, Brock Purdy's got to have a game of his life. Brock Purdy's got to be the best player out of anybody on the field.
And do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it is.
Do you think he could be better than Mahomes that day?
He was better than Mahomes in the Super Bowl, except Super Bowl didn't count.
Except the last quarter.
Except the last little
which
drive.
matters the most.
I mean,
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so to college football, we got Georgia, Texas. It's their first meeting in the SEC. My question is, say Georgia loses.
Another game that I was trying to go to.
I know. We got to go to a Texas game, Sark. But first game in the SEC. Question is, do you think Georgia can still make the playoffs if they lose? 3-2. I mean, it's 12.
Yeah,
12
I think
teams.
Georgia was. Cause I think a lot of 2-loss teams are gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think a ton of. I would probably bet that half the teams. It's 12. I would bet half the teams, and maybe a little bit more, have 1 or more losses.
So you think it's possible?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna win? That's my question.
I'm picking Texas.
Okay.
I'm picking Texas in this game at home. It's a crazy weekend. Formula One, Austin is there. The same weekend as Georgia, Texas. It's bananas going on in Austin right now.
Okay, and then Alabama, Tennessee. They both lost to, I'd say, inferior opponents on the same week. It was Alabama, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Arkansas. Do you think Alabama's ranked too high after losing to Vanderbilt and almost South Carolina last week?
I mean, they got a new head coach who probably wasn't, wasn't really playing at the level that he should have been playing at, coaching it at against Vandy, and they got clipped. And then Tennessee, Arkansas, they just wind up letting Arkansas get them. But I think this will be a good game. Alabama versus Tennessee always is good.
Who you got?
I'm going to take Tennessee in this. Where's it at? Is it Tennessee? If it's at Tennessee, I'm taking Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay, and then I have my best bet of the week. So I was talking about going to the Arizona game. That's who I have as my best bet. It's Arizona minus 2.5 versus Colorado. How do you feel about that?
Minus 2.5. I'm taking Colorado, though.
I know you love Colorado.
No, it's not that I love Colorado. Colorado should literally be 5-1 right now. They should be 5-1, maybe even 6-0.
Yeah.
I
mean, they lost to Nebraska pretty pretty
Nebraska
fair, but
handled
other than
them.
that,
If they ran it back again, I think they beat.
they should have lost to
Nebraska.
Baylor to be honest. They should have lost to Baylor to be honest. But
they right there, like I said at the start of the year, they go win the conference. Everybody laughed at me. They right there. They right there.
Okay, well, I don't just letting you know I'm 5-0. We didn't have a bet last week, but I'm still 5-0. Haven't lost. Eagles -2, Bucks +7.5, over 46.5. USC Michigan, BYU +3.5, and then Ravens -2.5. So then we had a bye last week, so now we're on week 7. Who's your player to watch this week?
I don't player to watch. You know what's so crazy is I'm gonna go with Brock Purdy.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with a layup, an easy one, because they've lost 4 straight to the Kansas City Chiefs, 2 in the Super Bowl, 2 in the regular season. Now it's time to change the page for them. Let's see if they can turn the page and get that nasty taste out their mouth of losing to Kansas City. Because at some point in time, you're gonna have to get over that. Every player, every team has had
you guys
a nemesis in the National Football League when you play. Just for years, you just can't beat somebody.
Tampa Bay, you guys had the Eagles.
Couldn't beat the Eagles for a long time. Then
Finally
eventually
did
we
it,
beat them.
and then you won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So it's got to happen.
So we'll see.
Let's listen to the call Keyshawn's for this week.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Keyshawn. Leave your name, where you from, and let us know how you feeling or what you want to know or talk about, okay? Keep it under 30 damn seconds, too. And don't be all that craziness. Just talk clean and clear. Okay, bye. Yes, you see that right there. I want you to be a caller, but here's the number first. Call 915-295-3228. That's right, 915-295. Fact is 3228. I'll give it to you one last time. 915-295-3228. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to be featured on the show. And someone was smart enough to do that, and let's take a listen to our first caller.
Yo, Keyshawn, this is John from Alexandria. Big Commanders fan here. Want to get your thoughts on 2 questions I had. One being Jayden Daniels. Guy's crushing it, putting up historic numbers as a rookie. Caleb Williams is obviously making a push. Malik Neighbors has been hurt. Same with Marvin Harrison Jr. So are we thinking it's pretty much a lock for him for Offensive Rookie of the Year? Secondly, NFC East. Cowboys are ass. Eagles are ass. Giants are the Giants. You know the story there. So is that also a lock? Are the Commanders are a real deal? And are they headed to the Super Bowl this year? Would love to get your take. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lock for Jayden Daniels at this moment to be Rookie of the Year because Caleb Williams has gotten back into the mix over the last couple of weeks, couple 300-yard games, couple touchdown games. They're winning. They're 4-2. They're right there in the thick of things in their division. But Jayden Daniels has everybody's attention, and I think Caleb is starting to get people's attention. Marvin Harrison Jr. banged up, out. Malik Neighbors, out. So those 2 guys, I think they missed their opportunity. These 2 quarterbacks with the winning record in big numbers and statistics, one of them will win the Rookie of the Year. Probably if I'm betting, it's probably going to be Jayden.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's the betting favorite right now.
And then in terms of the division is coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles, believe it or not. The Cowboys are not very good. Washington, they're a good team, but they got their first real adversity with a loss last week where now all the flowers and the pretty things are starting to
real
go away.
now. Yeah.
Now it's real. And you start to look at where their schedule is going, and a couple teams that they're playing here in the next several weeks could really give them some problems. So I kind of like Philadelphia to win the division because their schedule is a little bit easier.
What do you think about the Cowboys? You think they're done for?
Yeah, they man, the Cowboys, they in trouble. They got the next 5 weeks is a tough one. Starting off with San Francisco after the bye. Then they go
You predicted
to Atlanta.
this
They go
too, which
to
is kind
San
of
Francisco
crazy.
and to Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's gonna be rough. No, I kind of said
You said they're gonna lose like
2-4. Then I switched it to 3-5. So I'm still on track. All right, man. That's a wrap for today's show. Remember to follow All Facts Pod on social media and all of our podcast feeds and subscribe on YouTube. Until next time, peace.
Peace.